megalodon, the biggest carnivorous fish that's ever lived.
And it would be so fantastic if I could get this camera onto his back.
I'm going to try from the platform, keep the bait ball above, watch the shark, and see if you can get it in a line along here.
This is Nigel Marven. He's a zoologist and an expert in tackling dangerous animals. But his latest adventure is really testing his nerve. He's left the safety of the 21st century behind and travelled back to prehistory. His mission, to visit the 7 deadliest seas of all time and to come face to face with the most terrifying sea creatures that the Earth has ever known. So far, he has made it through 4 prehistoric oceans, but ahead lie the 2 most dangerous, inhabited by the nastiest collection of predators that nature has yet assembled. And he still has to get past a 50-foot shark called Megalodon.
You idiot! Don't move that chum bag till you can see the shark! Winch it up quick! I'm sorry I called you an idiot. I was scared when I fell in, but
that
thanks,
was fantastic.
mate.
Well done.
Well done. I hope we get some shots with that.
The camera was designed to break away from the shark and pop up to the surface. After a couple of days, we picked up the signal.
There it is, look, just ahead of us. Come on. We should have a precious and unique cargo. The camera seems okay, there's no damage here. A bit of shark fin. So what's happened is either rubbed this off on rocks on the bottom or something. I just hope it was on long enough to get some really great footage. Look, we've got some. The camera's working.
This was so exciting. The camera had survived whatever ordeal the shark had put it through. We were in the Pliocene observing a day in the life of a megalodon, and if that wasn't fantastic enough, this happened.
It's a silhouette there, look. Whether it's an Odobonosatops or whatever. You see that? And this could be great if we got a kill. He's going down. He is attacking, look! Crikey! Wow! Oh, look! See that again. The footage we got with the shark cam, it's better than I could have ever hoped. It is so unique. Just watch this. The shark, it's down below, there's a shape up there. It's not an Odobonosatops. It's actually a species of whale. The shark's gone down so it can get more momentum when it attacks. It's accelerating now. And the violence of this impact, look at that. A cloud of blood, that's what knocked the camera off. And Megalodon, this is extraordinary. It's a species of shark that actually attacks living whales, and pretty big ones at that.
But even this, the ultimate shark, will be unable to defend itself from the coming ice age. As the oceans turn colder, whales with their high body fat will adapt and thrive and move up to the icy polar regions. Meanwhile, Megalodon will be forced to stay in the warmer water around the equator. Deprived of its prey, it will be starved into extinction. It's time for Nigel to leave this, the 3rd most dangerous sea, behind. Next lies the Jurassic. To reach it, he has to travel back from 4 million to 155 million years ago. The Jurassic is right in the middle of dinosaur time, and it's home to some of the most colossal animals ever to live on land, outweighed only by the monsters that live in the water.
I've come to the Jurassic because this is a land of monstrous creatures. On the land there are giant dinosaurs, and here in the water, well, look at that. That's a shoal of Leeds-ichthyes, and they are the biggest fish that have ever lived. As big as those fish are, there are predators nearly as large that attack them. And that's what I'm here for, to see some of the most massive marine reptiles that have ever lived. And they must be 75 or 80 feet long. Shoals of giants are sustained by the tiniest creatures that live in the sea. What they do is they filter out any tiny plankton, any small animals floating in the ocean. At this time of year, though, they're living on their fat reserves, and that really sorts out the healthy fish from the sick ones. You can see over there, there's one that can't quite keep up with the shoal, it's just at the edge there. Already it's attracting some of the smaller predators in these Jurassic seas. And there, over there, Metriorhynchus, you just wouldn't expect that. It's a kind of marine crocodile. It's totally adapted for a life in the sea. Great paddle-like feet, nothing like modern crocs. Look at the tail, there's no armour plating there. This creature has sacrificed defence for speed. Wait, that's just a bit close. Get away! Look at that! Below me, it's a most bizarre shark called Hippodus. See those strange horns on the top of its head? And it's going into feast now. Look at it twisting to get a chunk of flesh. And oh, you feel sorry for the Leeds-ichthyes, they're actually eating it alive. Pretty unnerving being here right next to the shoal. You've got to worry about sharks, marine crocodiles, and I haven't even seen the really massive reptile I've come here for.
But I wouldn't have long to wait.
No large predators on the first dive, but there's certainly potential prey. This is the injured Leeds-ichthyes that we saw. We're tracking it with an acoustic tracking device, sending sound into the water. It's bouncing back off the injured fish. Not moving very fast, but we need to move to starboard now.
Okay.
Captain. As we saw on the dive, the injured Leeds-ichthyes, it's already drawing in crocodiles and sharks. And before long, something much bigger, it's bound to come in.
This is it. Look, 4 flippers, that short compact neck. It's approaching the Leeds-ichthyes, it's nearly as big. That is colossal, and I'm sure this is Lipleurodon. It's the biggest carnivorous reptile ever, and it is closing down on the Leeds-ichthyes. We've got to get this.
Peter, can you get the pole cam, mate? Quick as you can. It's pretty deep. I'll go and look on the monitor, see if I can guide you.
Move to the left a bit, mate. Just a bit further, a bit deeper. Just as I thought, it's a live pleurodon. Look at those flippers. It's really had a go at the leaves ichthyes. It's not moving a fin. It must be dead now. We've scared it. It's disappearing into the murk peat. It's just fantastic. Well done, mate. Those live pleurodon are awe-inspiring sea monsters, and it'd be such a thrill to see them under the water. But of course I'd need some protection, and the technicians and I have come up with this. This is a smell suit. Live pleurodon, they've got a really acute sense of smell, and we're going to use that to protect me. What we do is put a bottle on here, a bottle of noxious chemical, and if the live pleurodon get too close, if things get a little hairy, I'll switch on this valve. There'll be an explosion of chemicals into the water. The chemical we're using is called putrescine. That's basically essence of rotting reptile flesh, and hopefully that will keep them away from me. So why did we decide on putrescine? Have a look at this. We did some field trials with young live pleurodon in shallow water. We put the smell suit around a dummy, weighted it down, put it on the bottom, and you can see they're putting squid right in the suit. And that's to actually get the live pleurodon excited, try to get a feeding frenzy and see how they'll react to the smell suit. And now it was a matter of waiting. In the first experiment, inside the smell suit, there was a chemical deterrent that keeps sharks away, and we wanted to see what would happen with these reptiles. They're very, very curious about the squid. See the release of the chemical there, absolutely no effect at all. You'd have had your head bitten off if you'd been wearing that. The next experiment, we filled the smell suit with putrescine. And let's see what happens here. There's still squid on the dummy. They know it's not a danger to them. Here they come. Here come the live pleurodon. See that? The putresine's released. Another one comes in, mouth open, just gives it a whack. I hope it doesn't whack me like that. But hopefully that will give me some protection when I go in with the adults. Two. 4, 5. As I thought, a live pleurodon, perhaps even a pair of them, have come back to the carcass. We've lost the light, but that doesn't matter to those animals. They live in a world of smell. We've got light so we can see. It's going to be spooky down there though, and I'm relying on the smell suit to protect me. The cameraman's got one too. And we'll swing her out. Oh my goodness. That's enormous. Well, I am so glad the film camera's here. Nobody would believe me back at home. That's a cracking view of those teeth. They are so distinctive. That rosette of really sharp teeth at the front of the jaws there, they are like knife blades. They are piling into that fish carcass, slicing through the flesh of that lead's ichthyes, and that short neck that helps them too to be more powerful. That's why they can twist off those chunks of flesh. Going to do, they're not paying any attention to me. That food is really keeping them occupied, so I think I can take a calculated risk. If they do go for me, I've got the smell suit, so I'm going to move in as close as I dare. I am just 20
feet away from a feeding frenzy of some really ferocious sea reptiles, but I am petrified watching this. Wow, it's coming in so close. Ah! Thank heavens this snowsuit works. But it's really time to get out of here.
Hold on, Nigel, you're not done yet. That was the second most dangerous sea, which means time to enter Hell's Aquarium, the most dangerous sea ever. It's just a short hop forwards from the Jurassic to 75 million years BC. Not long before a massive meteor plows into the planet and marks the end of the dinosaurs. That same cataclysmic event will also be the end of most of the sea monsters that we're about to meet.
A familiar sight on the coast of the Cretaceous. These birds are called Hesperornis. They are so vociferous it's deafening being right in the middle of a colony. They're flightless like penguins, but they're far from as cute. Look at those dagger-like bills, and inside there they've actually got teeth.
But just to hold their own, Hesperornis, they have to be tough. They're around at a time when there are truly awe-inspiring predators. On the land there's T-Rex, and in the water, well, every time Hesperornis go on a fishing trip, they have to enter the deadliest sea of all time.
So why is this sea more deadly than the others? It's because there's not just one predator here, there's a whole suite of them. There's frightening sharks, terrifying sea reptiles, even the fish in here, you couldn't imagine them in your worst nightmares. I call this Hell's Aquarium. It's so jam-packed with killers.
And this is where Hesperornis spend much of their life. They're amazingly well adapted for diving, with specially heavy bones to help them stay submerged. But few Hesperornis live to a ripe old age, because in this sea, there are so many ways to get eaten.
To the right a bit, to the right a bit. Oh my goodness. Keep going right. There's a real blood patch. Pass the periscope, please. With this, I should be able to have a peek into this blood bath. Hard to see what's going on there. It's such a flurry of activity down there. There's a shark gone right in the middle of the feeding frenzy. Don't know what species, there's many sharks in Cretaceous times. What is that? That is one grotesque fish, and that's more like a bulldog than a fish.
If the devil kept fish, this would be one of them. Xiphactinus, a predatory fish over 20 feet long.
There's a big one coming right at the periscope. It's got a Hesperornis in its mouth. Hesperornis there over 6 feet long, and it's swallowing it down in one go.
But there was something else in there that looked familiar, the ominous shape of a mosasaur. These I'd read about. They're the ruling class of marine reptiles in the Cretaceous. Their serpentine shape is no accident, as they're closely related to snakes, but they're far more ferocious and way, way bigger. This species near the coast is just a tiddler, a mere 10 feet long, but offshore lurk 60-foot giants. And that's where we were headed.
We're going into deeper water on our mission to find giant mosasaurs. We're actually sailing right over the top of Kansas, which sounds weird. This is the map of the US that we're used to seeing, but now in the Cretaceous, it's totally different. Look at that. The central United States are covered by a vast inland sea. I can't dive in that sea. Mosasaurs are much too dangerous. And up here, to give us early warning, the acoustic tracking device. And we've got cameras on the prow of the boat. This is the view from the forward-facing one. This is the view from the backward-facing one. If a mosasaur comes anywhere near this ship, we'll get views on video. But this is something we are particularly proud of. This is a remote-operated vehicle with a superb camera. It would be foolhardy for me to swim with mosasaurs, but we're hoping we can get this right alongside them.
We soon had company. With its huge size and characteristic crest, this could only be one thing. Not a bird, but a flying reptile called Pteranodon. They catch fish in these waters, but this is Hell's Aquarium, so occasionally the fish catch them. The next morning, we were in for a nasty surprise.
What the heck was that? We hear something with a tremendous clunk. And look, it's the body of a turtle, like no turtle alive in the 21st century. It is huge. I think it's an archelon. And you can see, look, it has been bitten in two. And it's a shame. I'd love to see one of those that's alive. But it proves that we're in giant mosasaur country. Nothing else could have done damage like that.
And on we sailed through Hell's Aquarium, watching and waiting for giant mosasaurs.
Nigel, this is interesting. Check this out.
There's creatures, and they are going right under the boat. This could be it. It's not a giant mosasaur. These are some of the most exciting of sea reptiles. I've always wanted to see these. Elasmosaurus. That was the front camera. And this is the camera facing backwards. Look what they're doing. They're riding our bow wave. They're saving energy just like dolphins do. Maybe these are migrating or something. You stop the boat.
We had to be quick, but this was a perfect opportunity to try out the ROV with its remotely operated camera.
Greg, they're not scared of it at all, are they? Right to the ROV. They're diving. Can you go deeper? They're coming really close. Look, this one's investigating. Look away. Those small heads on those long necks may be a way to deceive prey. Fish would be frightened by those big bodies, but what the Elasmosaurus can do, they can sneak those heads right in the middle of a shoal and then strike. Gosh, a living archelon, one of those giant turtles. I said that I couldn't dive in this sea, it's just too dangerous. But I've got to get in with that.
It's a bit risky going in here, but the ROV should be guarding me, keeping an eye out for any predators lurking around. And I just can't resist a ride on an archelon. And he must come up again for air soon.
for that. Where's
Nigel back, Pete. Better get him out of the water. There's something big on the tracker.
Okay, we've just got to find him first. We're on our way out. We've got to find Nigel. There's something down there.
Quickly.
Relief. I'm back on here.
Now tell him we're coming back.
Ancient Mariner, Nigel here.
How was your dive, Nigel?
It was a thrill to be riding the turtle, but at the end, that was scary. We're on the way back now, Captain.
Okay, Nigel. Over now. The risk, what? Can you see him on the ROV, Greg?
The ROV had seen it all. Perhaps mistaking the boat for a turtle, the top predator of the Cretaceous had homed in on the crew. And if there's one thing worse than swimming with a 60-foot carnivorous reptile, it's swimming with its family. Giant mosasaurs often travel in groups to protect their young.
Move away from the boat, there's something under you.
They will attack and eat virtually anything that moves. Sharks, turtles, giant squid, even other mosasaurs. With 3 humans and an upturned boat in the water, they were spoiled for choice. So far, they were choosing the boat. Of the 7 deadliest seas of all time, this was the worst.
Everyone okay?
Yeah.
And the worst was over.
That shook me up. There's still blood in the water there as well.
Almost.